So I may have discovered the secret behind being indefinitely creative. And it starts with this book right here. Maybe you've seen me talk about it, maybe you haven't. Basically, this is my daily journal. I use the word daily a little bit loosely because the first half of this journal was not daily. Not even close. But the second half definitely was, or at least really, really close to being daily. And I did a lot of work. As soon as I was done with this one, I started a second one, and it's been going strong, well, at least ever since the last few days. Hi, I'm David, I make things, and I have been making all kinds of things. I can't stop making things. Today I'm going to talk about all of those different things, plus I'm also going to share with you that secret to how I get to this indefinite creativity. But I'm also going to share with you the pitfalls of it because it has some of that. Let's start with this one first. This is Mag Bash 1. This is going to be Mag Bash 2, but it's got a long way to go. Why I called it Mag Bash? I basically pulled a bunch of stuff from magazines or, newsly items or things like that. I tore them up, I put them in here, created these collages. I take all of these things from all of these places and I just kind of bash them together. So that's where I got Mag Bash. This one is done, but not really, because I took all of the pages in here, added a little bit of extra something, and I put that into what's going to become a printed version of Mag Bash that is awaiting approval by Amazon so that I can turn around and sell it to other people, other places. Coming soon! And of course, when this one is done, I will do the exact same thing with this as well. How about a legitimate zine? This is Old Punks Don't Die. Well, it's not complete. There is actually going to be a cover on top of this. I made this a long time ago, many, many years ago, and I just never did it. The purpose behind me making Old Punks Don't Die is regarding a show that I'm trying to get into. All of these things are actually going to be part of that show if I get in. Fingers crossed. I may not actually produce Old Punks Don't Die unless I get into the show because it's one of these things where it's probably not going to sell anywhere but that place. Something else that'll sell at that event is this right here. This is Substrate. This is something I also created many, many years ago, and I never really followed through with it. This was supposed to be a magazine about sharing the work of other artists and whatnot, but I couldn't get people to actually commit to sending me their stuff so that I could publish it. I put this project on a shelf for a very long time, but I decided to dig it out of the archives because what I'm going to do is turn Substrate into more of a monograph of all of my digital-oriented work. That should be really fun, but also that's something that's going to come in the future because I still have to compile all these things, but it's in process. I talked before about Rad Scrap, which is a book I created through Amazon's KDP, which is basically a printed version of all the digital textures that I took for one particular series of textures that I made. I've now made Rad Scrap 2, and I'm waiting for the printed versions of both 1 and 2 to come to me so that I can turn around and share those with the world. And while I'm waiting, I've always started work on a Rad Scrap 3 and 4, publishing date to be determined. Speaking of digital products, I'm going to take all the digital products that I have created in the past and the ones that I'm actually currently working on right now, and then I'm going to add them back to my website. If you've been following my journey when it comes to digital products, just don't ask, okay? They'll be available. And if you are part of my Substack, you become one of my Substack makers, then you actually get access to some of these digital products for free. Well, not free, but you get access to them that other people don't. Outside of the art journals, I haven't really made a whole lot of physical art recently, except for one piece. Let me show you. Now, this is a project idea that I've been kicking around for a long time, but I hadn't actually taken action on yet because I really didn't have a reason to do it other than just to do it. But there's a show coming up that I wanted to participate in, and I decided this would be the perfect opportunity to showcase. This is my first can display thing. This isn't the first time I've actually made one of these cans. You can actually see those right up there. Those are some other ones I've done in the past, but I've never done it quite like this, where I just added it with all this other ephemera that I found. You can actually see quite detailed. There's some really interesting things going on. And that ephemera comes by way of all that scratch bashing that I did. I took everything I learned and I put it into this canvas here. This was quite the journey and I learned a lot, and I'm actually going to be making more. In fact, I've already started on this one. This is raw. So what is the magic formula? What is the big secret that I have that helped me get so productive? Right there. It's this book, but it's not the book. It's actually the pages. But then it's not really the pages either. It's the daily project of doing the pages. Every morning I have a ritual. I get up, I go wake my son up so he can get ready for school. I go into the kitchen, I grab a cup of coffee and a glass of water, and then I sit down in front of my computer so that I can check through my to-dos, my checklists of things I need to get done today. And then I crack open my book and I get to work on that day's daily journal entry. That practice of making art every single day, especially in the beginning of the day, has made me so much more productive than any other thing that I have ever tried or attempted to do. Starting my day off with art mixed with a little bit of caffeine accelerant just paves the way for a creative, productive day. I don't know the psychology or science behind it, but it just kicks off this creative energy within me that just can't be tethered. I have to go make things. I have to work on something creative just because I started my day by doing something creative. Now, I do one of these every single day, but the goal isn't necessarily to do one every single day. The goal is to just make every single day. The energy that I put into this becomes potential energy within inside me so that when I'm ready to unleash it, it becomes kinetic energy and I can go make all of the things throughout the day. I don't have to finish something every single day. I don't have to paint a full painting. I don't have to create a full poster design. I just have to do something creative for that first portion of the day so that I can go make however many different things throughout the rest of the day. If you want to be more productive with your creative projects, then start working at them daily. And if you can, do it in the morning, because I promise you, it will have tremendous benefit for you. Now, is it going to work for everybody like it did me? No, probably not. Maybe better. Who knows? What I can say is that it will create a potential within you to make all kinds of cool stuff that you maybe didn't even think you had the ability to make until you got started doing it. Now let's talk about the pitfalls, because they do exist. The first one is don't get too absorbed, because you don't want to get sunk into this daily thing that you might be doing and then forget about all the other things that you've got going on. I give myself about an hour to finish one of these every single day. Sometimes I go a little bit further, but only because I'm feeling really good about it and I need to push it a little bit further. But I really try to keep it to under an hour because I've got other stuff to do. And if it is working for you and you do find yourself more productive on all the other creative projects you're working on, just make sure that you don't lose sight of the things that are maybe not so creative that you forget about them. Managing your business, doing your social media, following up with whatever people that you need to follow up with, shipping out your orders, whatever it is that you are making or doing, there's all these other things that we need to make sure that we take care of, because, just making the art isn't going to handle the business for us. Don't get so caught up in the projects. Make sure you pull yourself away just enough to take care of all these things, and then get back into the flow when you get a chance. I recently posted up about this on my Instagram stories about kind of managing my creativity with my other things. My friend Megan Carty, who is an artist in her own right, she gave me a little bit of wisdom on this. She said, we need to give people a taste, but we don't have to give them the whole candy bar. If we're in this creative flow, we don't want to lose sight of that either. So we go handle the business a little bit. We go give a little taste to the people that want to hear about it, want to know about it, and then we come back to our stuff as soon as we can. Because if we aren't here making stuff, then there isn't going to be anything to share or to sell to those people. Speaking of sharing, if you want to know more about the deep inner guts about all the things that I'm working on, then you're going to want to head over to my Substack and subscribe to that, because that's where I share most of the really deep dive stuff. It's been really cool to share that experience with other people, and if you want to indulge in that, you can. Link in the description. And on that note, I'm going to get out, but not before I say, hey, YouTube thinks this one is going to be really good for you next, okay? So check that one out, but not before you go down and hit the like button to make sure you tell me how much you love me, okay? Thanks very much, guys. I'll see you next time.